Viewers, joining me now is a very special guest, Ambassador of Mexico, Federico Salas. So thank you so much for joining us here on CNN News 18.
No, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here with you and your audience.
Yeah. So first of all, let's clarify this for our viewers. We are not here to talk about India-Mexico relations. We are not here to talk on anything related to foreign policy. We are here to discuss Mr. Salas' visit to Maha Kumbh. So a few days back, there was 118-member delegation which visited Maha Kumbh. There were 77 envoys, diplomats from various countries and their spouses participated in that delegation, were part of that delegation. And perhaps today we are here to speak to the ambassador about his experience. Ambassador, we saw those images of you taking holy dip in Sangam. How was the experience?
It was an extraordinary experience, of course, because of all that it symbolizes. I don't have to tell you, how significant this is, of course, for the Indians. But for those of us who are not from India, I mean, this was a particularly significant trip. First of all, because it's something that takes place every 144 years. So it's, it was once in a lifetime kind of experience. But also because I think it's fascinating to see this expression of faith and religion by so many people. I mean, when we were there, it was overwhelming to see the crowds and to see them experience the taking the dip in the Sangam and the whole ritual that accompanies that. So it was really a very fascinating experience to be there and to see it firsthand.
I saw all the dignitaries there. I saw those footages and images, and I saw of that moment. I saw all the dignitaries practicing rituals also, like Indians do when they go to.
Yeah, the place where we were taken to, there was a possibility where people could do a puja.
Yeah.
And some of my colleagues actually did the puja. Yeah. There were some people there that were assisting in this, and that was also quite an interesting thing.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was always very interesting to see people in this kind of religious rituals doing so, and especially. Some of our...
I'm sure you're going to remember this experience forever.
Yes, certainly. And, I was going to say that some of our colleagues in the diplomatic community, this is not the first time that they have served here in India, so they're familiar with some of the rituals. Yeah. And they are the ones that did the pujas, but also there were some of the Indian dignitaries that were with us. There was a Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Margarita was there with us. He also did a puja. So it was really a very complete experience in that sense.
So have you spoken to your family back in Mexico about this experience, and what did you tell them? Like, if you would like to tell it to our viewers, your experience, and are you going to bring them next time for a holy dip to Sangam?
Yeah, they were quite stunned when I told them that I was going to this, because of course this whole event is in the world news, and people have been following it. And especially one thing that I think attracts the attention of people who are outside of India is the magnitude of it. The fact that they're expected to have probably more than 400 million people visit the place and take the
8 crore people in a small town of Prayagraj at one time. That's like a population of Iran.
Well, it's more than absolutely more than the population of all of Europe, I think. So it's so in that sense, they were very keen to hear what was it like, what was the experience. I mean, fortunately, of course, this was a trip that was organized by the MEA, and we were, we were not so much in the crowds. I would say we were close to them, but we were not
a clean passage.
Yeah, we were not part of the crowd itself. But nonetheless, I mean, it was certainly, you can see the quantities of people walking towards the river, the tent cities that are laid out in the vicinity, and all the infrastructure. It was really quite incredible.
Do you want to try as a solo traveler again?
It certainly will be quite an experience to do that. But now that I've been there, I probably will be more daring to go there on my own. Yeah.
Also, did you get any gifts from the holy city? Like you were telling me about Ganga Jal. You bought the Ganga Jal.
Yes, we did get some gifts from the authorities there, and especially one that I prize particularly is like a small, like a tin container that has some water from the Sangam itself, and certainly, as I said, as a foreigner, I know how important this is. But I know that many of my Indian friends and the people that work with me are just fascinated by the fact that there's and of course the importance that they attribute to the fact that this is water from the sacred site. It's a very significant thing for them.
You have met Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh also.
Yes, we did.
How did you find him?
Well, it's not the first time that I've seen him, but he was very congenial.
Okay.
And spoke briefly with us, and it was very nice that he took the time and the effort to come and talk to us while we were there. It was the last.
He was really excited to see you all.
Yeah. Well, this was the last event of the day. By that time, we were all kind of a bit exhausted, but it was very, again, invigorating when he came and he. Told us also again about the significance of what we had seen. Mm-hmm. We also had the opportunity while we were there. We went to visit this tree where Lord Rama had been, and the temple of Hanuman, which is also in the vicinity there. So it was. I would say it was a very well-rounded experience while we were there. Yeah.
I would like to know from him, this is what I feel, and I've been told also, that whenever the diplomats get the duty, the job to serve in one or the other country, then you people do a brief study about the culture, tradition of that country. So you must have gone through Ramayana once to understand the Indian culture and Indian society. So must be an experience of reliving what you have read about Ramayana and the Indian mythology.
Well, you're right. I think that all of us, we read, we do read some of the history. We read some about the customs, about the culture, about the religion. But it's one thing to read about it. But I think it's so fascinating to actually see it in practice and be part of it in a way. And certainly for me, in that sense, was particularly interesting to be able to participate in this and be part of this very overwhelming experience, and it also gives you a different understanding of what of India, of the people of India and Indian society, and what it's all about. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
No,
thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thanks a lot.
Very much. Thank you.